So you've got Belgium.
By August last year, you were close friends with a man who would soon go on to carry out an appalling terrorist attack targeting the Jewish community in your home city. Your interactions caught on video in the mosque on the 9th of August show two equally engaged and enthusiastic men planning an atrocity against a British military facility for religious and political reasons.
They were seeking to identify an attack location, and they carried out hostile reconnaissance at the UK Defence Academy. We believe that they were planning an attack using weapons, probably using bladed weapons, knives, and potentially using a crossbow as well.
For planning to carry out a terrorist attack on the Ministry of Defence Defence Academy at Shrivenham in August 2025, in which you and Jihad Al-Shamie expected to kill and be killed, the sentence must be life imprisonment.
Give me an overview of the case here.
Okay, so the investigation into Mohammad Bashir came out of the overall investigation into the attack, the terrorist attack that took place on the 2nd of October at the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation synagogue. So Mohammad Bashir was quickly identified as a close associate of the attacker at Heaton Park Al-Shamie. They had a close relationship for a number of years and were in WhatsApp groups and in digital communication, but also had real-world meetings. They both attended the same mosque in Manchester. And what the investigation found was that they both had Mohammad Bashir alongside Shamie, who we already knew, both had a sort of jihadist, extremist mindset. And ultimately what we found is that during 2025, the two within their relationship ultimately worked towards identifying a location for a potential terrorist attack. And this location was the UK Defence Academy in Shrivenham, and we believe that they identified that location because their perception was that the UK Defence Academy had some connections or links to the Israeli military. And their work and their preparation, much of which was online, ultimately resulted in a real-world visit, hostile reconnaissance in effect, that took place at the UK Defence Academy on the 14th of August 2025. We were able to gain
more about what you know they were planning. What could this attack have been like if it went ahead?
So they were seeking to identify an attack location, and they carried out hostile reconnaissance at the UK Defence Academy. We believe that they were planning an attack using weapons, probably using bladed weapons, knives, and potentially using a crossbow as well. They hadn't fully kind of completed their plans, but based on searches and activity that we identified within the investigation, everything pointed to an attack with weapons, with two individuals, two attackers, and realistically, had that attack took place, it's highly likely we would have faced a number of fatalities and a large number of people with very serious injuries.
And what can you tell us about their mindset? How extreme were their views, and what kind of things were they sharing in the WhatsApp group?
So they both had deep-rooted vitriolic anti-Semitic views, and that played out very much in a lot of their conversations and communications exchanges, and played an influencing factor in their choice of a potential target, being the UK Defence Academy. They would make references not just to jihad but to martyrdom as well, and there were specific references around the time that they were carrying out the hostile reconnaissance in the days in advance of that, around the potential for martyrdom using kind of terminology that members of the public perhaps wouldn't identify as such, but we identified as very much indicating a sort of an anticipation that they ultimately would be killed during the carrying out of any attack.
So these are Danes involved in the Heaton Park attack, so his relationship with Al-Shamie grew more distant in the run-up to that? Is suffer?
Yes, that's completely correct. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that Bashir had any knowledge or involvement in Al-Shamie's planned attack and ultimately the attack that took place. That was a key investigation prior to understand that, and there is no evidence whatsoever. That said, he actively and very much as an equal partner took part in the preparation for an act of terror at the UK Defence Academy, which is what he's subsequently been convicted and sentenced for.
And for people in the
Stand up, Mohammad Bashir. You are Manchester born and bred. You have not revealed what caused you to turn on the society that you had grown up in, gone to school and college in, worked in, and where your family was able to practice your religion in freedom and peace. You told the probation officer who prepared a pre-sentence report that the violence in Palestine angered and upset you and led to you admiring and sharing the rhetoric that hate preachers like al-Awlaki use to poison minds. By August last year, you were close friends with a man who would soon go on to carry out an appalling terrorist attack targeting the Jewish community in your home city. Your interactions caught on video in the mosque on the 9th of August show two equally engaged and enthusiastic men planning an atrocity against a British military facility for religious and political reasons. Your example must stand as a warning to men who are attracted by this form of militant, violent and destructive Islam for religious or political reasons. Character is contagious. In the Jewish book of Proverbs 13 verse 20, this is expressed bluntly. He that walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. The values and behaviour of the people you revere will directly influence your life and choices. I impose a serious crime prevention order as drawn up for 5 years after your release from custody. There will be no limit on the number of times the police may visit and inspect compliance with the restrictions on devices that the order imposes. The statutory surcharge applies. You are subject to the mandatory terrorism notification requirements for the rest of your life. For planning to carry out a terrorist attack on the Ministry of Defence Defence Academy at Shrivenham in August 2025, in which you and Jihad Al-Shamie expected to kill and be killed, the sentence must be life imprisonment. I impose a minimum term of 16 years and 135 days. This is a notional determinate sentence of 17 years, less the period you have spent on remand of 230 days. You will serve the whole of the minimum term before you can be considered for parole. If you are ever considered safe to be released, you will be on licence and liable to recall to prison for the rest of your life. Please go down now.